As part of my current project, the Banshee, I will also be integrating a rough cut into the barrel extension for it. It does fire a little bit better than standard. However, I've got a couple of the Orange Modworks springs to go in it. So I'll be putting those in it as opposed to the stock springs to give it a little bit more oomph. Alright, so I'll go about taking this apart and we'll show you the internals and we'll fit the springs and what have you, and then we'll have a look at how we're going to minimise it and attach it to the barrel extension. Alright, back in just a moment. Okay, so I've done my additional mods to my rough cut. What I've done is, as you can see, I've taped up the seal on those barrels where they join the Smart AR system. You probably can't really make it out, but I have put a bit of hot glue into the dead space, like the recesses that were either side at the bottom of the plunger tube assembly here, to fill in a little dead space. And there was a couple of little cutouts in the corner. I filled that as well with a bit of hot glue just to remove the dead space at the bottom there. With the plunger tubes, obviously I've got, plunger rods, obviously I've got the Orange Modworks springs on there now. I've put a layer of electrical tape underneath the O-ring just to give it a slightly better seal, and I have filled the dead space at the end of the plunger head with a little adhesive pad. It's a little sticky pad that's actually designed to go on the bottom of like a furniture leg or what have you, to cushion it on a wooden floor. Used a little bit of hot glue to fill the little cutouts on the sides of the plunger head and underneath the tape under the O-ring. So done that with both of the plunger rods, so they're both ready to go back in. So now we will go about reassembling, and I'll need to work out, once the internals are back in, I'll need to work out where I need to make my cuts to make it fit the barrel extension to go on the front of the Banshee. Alright, so I will assemble this, and we will see where we need to make the cuts, and hopefully we can make those and do a test shot. We might put this back over the chrony and see what it's doing now with the new mods. Alright, I'll be back in a moment. Alright, so here's the cut down rough cut. After it's been modified, they've done a few shell modifications. I'll have to finalise those shortly once I work out exactly how it's going to fit on there and what have you, but as you can see, it's been minimised quite dramatically. So what I might do is pop a couple of shots over the chronometer and see what it is actually putting out FPS wise. So we'll set up the chrony and have a look and see what it's doing currently. Second barrel, third barrel, and the bottom barrel on the left hand side. Alright, so there you go, so you can see what the FPS that it's doing. I'll see if I can get that information together and pop it on the bottom of the screen here. Alright, so that's shooting quite well, so that'll be a nice secondary added on to the bottom of the Banshee barrel. So now I've got to go about fitting it to the barrel. Just to give you a basic idea, I've started cutting the slot to accommodate the tack rail so that it will fit in that type of configuration as a barrel attachment. So now I've just got to go about making that fit in there, working out exactly how I'm going to anchor it, etc. So I'll go ahead with that, and I'll be back once I've made a little more progress. Cheers. Okay, so I'm making some progress with the Banshee project. Got the stock now fixed into place and puttied, blended in. I've printed up the front motor cover to cover the French 130s at the front there, and stuck that into place, as you can see. The rough cut front gun has been redone. I had to replace the internals. My barrel attachment here, I have putty blended it in on both sides, as you'll see, to try and get a sort of continual flow or what have you. But I have, in doing this, I have managed to keep it still separatable. So the way I've set it up is it rotates this way and is removable, but not on the right hand side. And so when the two were actually coupled together and locked into place, this joint effect type scenario. So it's all working really well. I've been running it on 11.1 volt 3S lipo, and it screams off that all day, every day, and gets decent FPS. It will run on a 14.8 volt as well. For the longevity of the blaster, though, I'm kind of shying away from that. The rough cut front gun has got the dual Orange Modwork springs in it, plunger head modifications, the vent holes are all plugged, etc., etc., and it now shoots pretty damn good FPS as well. Yeah. So the next thing to move on to is I'm 3D printing some details to go into here. I've got to fill this little well section here to smooth it out, get rid of the Nerf, and there'll be a graphic going in there. Also, same on the other side. I've sanded back the Nerf logo off here, and there'll be a 3D printed sort of logo icon, whatever you want to call it, going on there. I've got the 3D printed nameplate on there with the Banshee, and then I will be doing the paint job, which is going to be something far different to anything that I've done before, but a little bit tricky. So so that's where the Banshee is at the moment, and I'll be back once I've made a little more progress. Cheers. Okay, so as part of the Banshee project, one of the other things I wanted to do was to add this holographic sight to the top of the blaster on here, but obviously it doesn't fit. It's a Picatinny fitting. So what I thought I would do is make an adapter to adapt the Nerf top accessory rail to a Picatinny one. So I designed and 3D printed, yes, me and my 3D printer, this Picatinny adapter. As you can see, it's a fairly low profile adapter, which is what I wanted. I didn't want the sight sitting up in the air like something ridiculous. So essentially this will just slot on to the Nerf rail at the top here, like so. Pushes on. So you push that all the way on. That's it. And then your Picatinny, as you can see, it's got the notch cut out for the locator bolt, and essentially that just fits on like that, and then we'll tighten up onto the Picatinny rail. So obviously it will get a coat of paint and what have you before the project's finished. But there you go, little Picatinny rail adapter, so that I can fit the side on top. There you go. Alright, so I'll be back once I've made a little more progress and show you some more of the Banshee project. Okay, so I have finally finished the Banshee project. This is the Banshee, or Banshee, however you want to pronounce it. I'll run over the features of the blaster for you. First of all, we have a long shot stock. It's been blended into a Rayven. Obviously, we have custom printed, 3D printed nameplate there, Banshee nameplate. A custom 3D printed Picatinny rail adapter to hold the sight. 3D printed graphic there, that's a skull, which is three-dimensional. I don't know if you can really see that, but that actually sits up off the surface. And is the skull of the Banshee. That's the idea behind it. You've got the scream of the Banshee coming forward as the black lines over the blaster, and it is drenched in blood from its victims. Blood splatter design, which is something new, something I haven't tried before, so I thought I'd give it a crack and see how it came out. And look, I don't mind it. I think it looks pretty good, as well as gruesome. One of the 15-shot banana mags from China Online, whatever you want to call it, Taobao, what have you. The barrel extension is again one of my own designs with 3D printed parts, a 3D coupler at the back and a spacer at the front, using a long shot inner barrel down through the middle. That's been integrated onto the rough cut, which it actually, the tubing at the top there has got a slot in the bottom of it that actually slots onto the accessory rail of the rough cut. That's how it actually sets into place, and there's that little tooth at the front there you can see actually holds it in place, and the channel is exactly the right length that it bottoms out on the front of the accessory rail just as it drops into there, so it sort of locks into place, and that's what holds the rough cut onto the barrel. Simple, easy. It basically just slots into a channel that's cut into the bottom of the PVC pipe there. The rough cut itself, as you can see, it's been minimised quite dramatically. The back's been cut off, and I've done a custom trigger setup, which is a rocket trigger that basically just pushes down on the action to release the plungers. It's been fully reworked, as you'll see in the video, would have seen in the video earlier. Orange Moldwork springs, etc., etc. And you would have seen the FPS test as well, so it's shooting quite well now as well. Okay, so that's the overview there. Now, the Banshee itself, the actual Rayven, is a quad flywheel setup. So if I spin this over the other side, you will see that it has got two flywheel housings. Again, 3D printed one at the front there. Now it's running the McCracken 130 motors in the back, which are 36,000 RPM rated at 12 volts. In the front are the AliExpress or French 130 motors, which are 56,000 RPM rated at 12 volt. The whole lot is running on a lipo pack. It will run on 11.1 or 14.8. For the longevity of the blaster, it is probably better to run it on the 11.1, but if you want to get that little bit of extra FPS and kick out of it, then you can run it on the 14.8, and you'll get up to 158.5 feet per second out of it, as you would have seen from the FPS test that I did earlier. Alright, so that's the blaster in its completed form. You will have seen it firing, etc. You'll see that the gun has been blended in, but as you would have seen in the video earlier, it's still removable, etc. So yeah, I think I've pretty much covered everything except the final look at the gun, the final paint job, and there you go. Now you can see it in all its splendour and its final state. It works fantastic. The rough cut shoots great. The Rayven shoots great. It gets really good ranges. It punches so hard. That's the Banshee. I hope you guys like it. Please subscribe if you have not already done so. Keep supporting me so that I can keep pumping out some new and interesting blasters for you guys. As this will probably be my final video for the year, I just want to send a couple of quick shout outs to some of my friends. Shout outs go to, please forgive me if I forget anyone. Let's kick it off with Heavy Starch, Mag212, Triple Boo. There's Rob from Southern Brisbane Nerf Group, Tom from Foam Data Services. Bobo Lolo, your order is in progress as we speak, my friend. You'll be getting that soon. Oh, yeah, there's proof. Okay, Bobo Lolo everywhere. Who else? Who have I forgotten? Drac, Lord Drac. I think I've covered everyone off. If I've forgotten anyone, I apologise. Anyway, wish you all a Merry Christmas. Have an amazing Christmas and New Year. Be happy, be safe, and I will see you guys early in the new year. Because straight after Christmas, Jodo's getting married, so I will be absent for a little while I do my vows and engage in some wedded bliss. And I will catch up with you guys and see you all in the new year. Once again, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like my videos, and as per usual, I will see you on the next mod. Merry Christmas. Cheers.